Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the special edition of Broken, Not Shattered. Broken, but not shattered. It's going to be a very interesting one. It's going to cause a lot of vulnerability between me and my co host, Obi, who is about to come into the show. We want to welcome Obi back in. Hey, Obi, long time no see, buddy. I greet you.
Good
Yeah,
to see
man.
you again.
You too, man. It's different. The last time I saw you, we were in the same territory together, doing our thing in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm back into reality. You are still there. How's Nigeria, bro? How's everything coming along?
Well, nothing much has changed since you left.
That's
But
all
the
right.
same, it was nice having you around in Nigeria. I really enjoyed my time with you, I must confess.
That's good. That's good. And I enjoyed my own time too, my brother. It was really an interesting time, both in the church and outside of the church, and the trips that we had and all those good times. One of my highlights in Nigeria was able to eat corn, and
Interesting. Yes.
that roasted corn I had was that was the highlight, one of the highlights for me. And then obviously spending time with my mother, that was phenomenal. But we're here today. The show is started. We are discussing brokenness within a man, um, dealing with a broken man. What is it to deal with a broken man? How do you know that a man has actually come to a place of brokenness? And when he gets there, how the folks around deal with him? How does he deal with himself? How does he deal with uh, his relationships, um, both of the same gender and the opposite gender? All that stuff. We're gonna try and use as much as we can to dig into this topic. Obi, I know personally that I have gone through a state of brokenness in my life. Um, Several times, but there's ones that are very, very high on my list of experiences that I don't have to go into today, but I've spoken about them over the years when it comes to the breaking of certain relationships and the loss of some sudden lot of people in my life that has kept me in that state of brokenness. Someone will ask, what is it? What does it mean to be broken? Well, as long as I'm concerned, um, it's a state of emotional pain, severe emotional pain. When the individual, in this case, we're talking about men, has to go through um, certain emotional pain based on a particular experience that he has gone through. And please don't get me wrong, for my female listeners, uh, ladies, we also know that you too might have gone through a state of brokenness because the emotional pain is not based on a gender. But most men, especially men of color, have been raised not to express ourselves when we go through this pain. And it's because of that, most of the times we suppress our feelings. We're not quick to find help. We just, bottle everything down with all those challenges and all those experiences and all that emotional pain that we might have gone, that has impacted our lives and stopped us at some part from living a very normal and a very healthy and a very progressive or purposeful life based on that experience or based on that level of brokenness that one is going through or that pain that one is going through. And when that happens, if you don't have a good outlet, you don't have the round friends surrounding you, you don't have the right counselor, therapist to speak to, it can bring a lot of damage, not just to the individual, but to those around them. Your thoughts, Obi, on brokenness with men?
Okay. Just like you rightly said, it is a state of severe brokenness. emotional breakdown. And I would like to see it this way. You know, we generally as humans, at some point, you know, pass through that um, brokenness. I see brokenness as a family where we have two siblings, the male and the female. And so today we're just looking at the male issue of the brokenness.
Mhm.
That's what we're looking at.
Have you experienced any kind of brokenness, Obi? Yo,
Definitely, I have.
okay,
I
let's
have.
do you
I
would you
have.
like to share?
Sorry, please.
Would you like to share your story, or your experience, or what
Yes.
you went through? 'Cause
Yes.
I think that's how we'll get our audience to really feel that we're not
Yes. I think I'm gradually coming to it.
okay.
I'm gradually coming to it. I have, and I will share that as time permits me, the much I can or the little I can, whichever way. But let's also have it in mind that the idea is for people to see the need to talk to a therapist. Very, very
Or a
important.
counselor.
Or a counselor, yes, definitely. So I have encountered brokenness at different levels in my life. Severe emotional brokenness. Some has to do with my relationship at that moment, and some at some point it was my academics, and then at another point it was my career, right? And
Let's
when
talk,
it
let's talk about the career part of it. What happened in the part of the career?
okay, so upon graduation, I decided to switch into IT services. So before I switched, I started thinking of the relevant of the course I did with respect to IT services, which was at that moment the trending thing. So I decided to switch into IT services, and then I attended an academy to get a background. And then after going through the courses, we were supposed to be offered a job. And then that was when the economic crunch first stepped into the country, and the economy was bad. So the promises that were made to us were not kept, and we all had to find our way. It was quite a very devastating moment for me. I had spent funds training myself to get the fundamentals and was believing I was going to get a job. Now, I didn't have a job, I didn't have a house, and there was no support.
So just listening to you, Obi.
Yeah.
Um, uh, this is you telling your story on how you had planned and prepared yourself to
Yes.
actually move to a different level of life
Yeah.
and invested a lot into it. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, nothing came out of it, or what came out of it was an empty promise. Um,
Yes.
it's amazing when you were saying that, right?
Yep.
It's the same. It's a different experience because this is on the professional level, but it's the
Okay.
same. It's the same um, um, components, right? It's the same ingredients that lead to this state of brokenness. One, there is hope. There is a level of hope or plans that one has made. Expectations are very high. Some kind of either financial or physical or emotional investment has gone into
Disappointment.
has gone into it, and then at the end of the day, there's a level of disappointment because
Exactly.
the outcome that was expected
Exactly.
was not what was not the outcome that eventually showed itself or manifested
Yeah,
itself.
I agree with you.
There's a level of I think the word is disappointment, maybe a letdown of some sort. You have projected into this relationship that, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this individual, or I'm going to become XYZ by the time I finish from this program. And
Yeah.
then there's a disappointment.
Yes.
For whatever reason, the disappointment is, whether it's coming from the man or it's coming from other outside sources, there's a level of disappointment.
Yeah.
And that is where that emotional part now triggers into pain.
Yes.
The more painful the situation is, the deeper the level of brokenness becomes,
Okay,
right?
let me tell you this. Can I just quickly say this? So, that disappointment comes with, the next stage, which is hopelessness. Now, I'll give you an instance here, and I'll give you what happened, and then just oppose it to also what happens in a relationship. Now, at that point where I was disappointed with the promise that was meant to come after the course, right? I didn't have funds to do other courses and no opportunity to get any other job. It was a state of brokenness. Didn't know which way to go. Now, in a relationship as well, it was betrayal. Trust was betrayed. And at that point, I didn't know if I can go into another relationship,
Right.
what will I encounter in that relationship? Trust became an issue.
So all of a sudden now you've now built, because of one experience, you've now
Yes.
built a trust issue. I know personally
Exactly.
that because of the levels of brokenness that I've gone through in life, I am a little harder on how I deal things unlike before, right?
Yes.
I'm a little very harder on how I deal things. I used to pride myself as a guy who was very, very in tuned emotionally, and I believe to a great level I am. But I'm at a place where now I have to protect myself. Do you understand? And I have to
Yeah.
protect myself regardless of what anybody around me thinks or does not think, regardless of what they say or they do not say. I have to be very stable and confident of
Okay.
what I want to see, where I'm going, and where I need to be. Right? I have to be very purpose minded in everything I do. I can't allow any emotional distraction throw me off. Right? I can't allow any form of manipulation or any form of someone's views or lack of views throw me off. Right? I have to be able to stay
That's for
calm.
now.
Yeah, that's for now. Because before
Yes.
it has happened to me several times and it has thrown me completely off, right? Thrown me
Off.
off to the point
Exactly.
that I was spiraling deeper and deeper and deeper into almost a crazy state of depression, right? So for me to saw myself out of that by the grace of God, I have to be very mindful that I can't be thrown off, right? I have to be able to stand on a very firm ground and be able to look around and see things and say, this is, I've seen this before, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the mistake I made the last time was this. This time I'm not going to make that mistake, regardless of what everybody else thinks, because I
Sure.
only have it's only one me and it's only one life I have to live. So for the brother who is going through some level of brokenness right now, before I take this break, I just want to let you know that you will come out of the brokenness. You
Definitely.
will overcome that situation.
I agree with you.
But before you overcome that situation, you have to make up your mind mentally and spiritually to say, I have to get out of this mess.
Yeah.
And then begin to put things around you that would help you with that self-care that you need to stay strong and overcome.
And
Right?
that's the things you need to answer.
And yes, exactly. And those are the questions you need to answer in your mind and say to yourself. It's a very solo journey. It's a very solo journey because everybody is fighting for their own territory, right?
Yes.
But it's a very solo journey. Someone said to me, "Oh, you fought for this, but you didn't fight for that," and I was very, very transparent with the person. I wish they understood what I was trying to say to them. I said, "No, I did not fight for that individual. I didn't fight for that individual at all. What I fought for was myself. I fought for my boundaries. I fought for my state of mind. I fought for peace around me. That's what I fought for. In other relationships, I had fought for individuals, right? And at the end of the day, I lost. So I have come to understand that you can't always fight for other people. You can fight for yourself first and stand strong and stand affirmed. And then you'll be able to assist, help, or support other people if they so wish. Again, it's an individual race, it's an individual journey, and you have to respect that. That people have other things they're dealing with. People are wired differently. Men are wired completely differently from how women are wired. A woman will see something and respond to it based on her emotions at that time. And because she's responded to it, she's thrown off the entire plan because she didn't see something work the way she wanted it to work. And she goes off on a tangent, not knowing what this man has in mind, what this man is focused on, what this man is thinking. And then she throws off everything. If the guy is not stable, if the guy is not strong and firm, he will spiral and also find himself thrown off, just like how Adam found himself chewing that fruit when Eve found herself biting into the fruit. I'm not going to start anything biblical before my audience starts shooting me emails and text messages. I'm just expressing myself, guys. This is just my opinion. Please don't shoot the messenger. Obi and I will be back in a few minutes after this very short break. Welcome and see you soon. Obi, man, you and I were talking a few minutes ago about on Broken Not Shattered about how do we deal with a broken man, and someone just please send me a message. I'll put it out in the chat so everyone can see what the person asked me. The person asked me this question.
I see it.
What's the difference between a broken man and a broke man? Well, guess what? When a man is broke, and we've always been in the place where we were broke, it means that his financial positioning is not as strong as it should be. And can this state of being broke lead to a level of brokenness? My answer to that is yes. If a man is broke for a very long time, right, he can find himself gradually going into a place of brokenness. If a man is broke and the broke is only a temporary issue because he has a plan he's working on or he's working on something, with time he will bounce back again and it would not lead to a place of brokenness, because at the end of the day, brokenness needs to not be in a permanent condition. You cannot be permanently in a state of brokenness. It will continue to destroy you. It will take life out of you. So the most important thing really is when you go through those challenges of not having your Benjamins where they are, just believe that there is hope. There is hope, and then just keep on moving. Why are you smiling, guy? Why are you smiling?
What I'm trying to say first, before I say what I have in mind, is when someone is broke, he doesn't need a therapist.
Yes.
You agree to that? I like
he does. When you're broke, what you need is a Bank of America.
Exactly.
Or one serious deal. So you can put gas in your car.
Exactly.
Over your head, right?
Exactly.
And the truth of the matter is that there are different levels of broke, right? What is broke to one man might not be broke to another man.
I agree with you. Completely.
I heard a joke one time that a couple of guys were in church and the pastor said everybody should pray for their financial needs and call unto the Lord. And this guy right next to this very wealthy guy was there praying and kabashing and shouting and screaming and yelling, Lord, please, that 100,000 naira, I need it in the name of Jesus. Release that 100,000 naira. And the other guy who has 100 million naira problem was now wondering, this guy, you're shouting too much, that God cannot hear my prayer. He said, oh, boy, calm down. See, God has answered your prayer. Take this 100,000.
Make God focus.
Because you're distracting me with this 100,000 naira that you need. But in that guy's own case, that's where he was. He was in a place of where he needed that 100,000 naira or $100,000, whatever it was, and he was praying for. And that was his own state of brokenness, right? And for someone else, it could be $1 million. And so people are in different places. So when somebody says they're broke, what do they really mean? They don't have disposable income as they so wish, or they haven't managed their finances very well. And that's another topic we'll discuss one time. But we're not talking about financial broke or man being financially broke. We're talking about the actual brokenness,
Brokenness.
point of emotional stability, or maybe spiritually broken, because that's another thing too. You can be broken spiritually, and there's a difference between broken spiritually and being broken emotionally. Or what do you think?
Okay, so I want to say my input on that question. So first, the difference between the two is the N at the end of it, because it's just the same spelling, and then the N, and that makes a very serious difference. So this is financially broke, and why this is emotional breakdown. Now, for the man who is financially broke, it can lead to brokenness, no doubt. Like you said, over a period of time, you might begin to have that emotional delays. As men, men have responsibilities, and they want to match their responsibilities with their strength. And when your financial strength cannot match your responsibilities, it becomes a problem. And if it stays a period of time, it leads to that emotional breakdown. When you now don't see yourself as a man, you see yourself as can't be capable of matching up with your responsibilities. So one can lead to the other. But
And I agree that I think that's what for most of us men, it's us being I call it the bedroom and the boardroom, right?
yes,
Most men assess themselves uh,
yes,
based on how much power they have in either the boardroom and in the bedroom. In other words,
yes,
when I refer to the bedroom, I'm not just talking about sex per se. I'm actually talking about how they can handle their own domestic environment, right?
sure.
How they can meet their responsibilities as a father or as a husband or as a boyfriend. How is he able to handle his own in that space? The more he's able to manage himself in his domestic world with his loved ones around him, the more stronger he feels about himself. And then the other part is in the boardroom where we make decisions and we tussle in the corporate world over positions, or wherever we find ourselves, how those things work. Those are the things that most men struggle with it. And when you rip those things completely away from them, it impacts their masculinity in certain ways, right? And when that happens, whether it's taken away through a relationship or it's taken away through an experience or an incident or an accident or a situation that he never saw coming, that is the biggest challenge for most men, and it can spiral into a state of brokenness. Go ahead,
I
Obi.
think
We
there are
got
two questions. I think there are
seven
two
more.
questions that are popping up in my mind. And one is, can this be avoided? Can brokenness be avoided? But
Yes.
before that, what are the dangers of that brokenness?
Okay. So let me
Are
help you
there
here.
dangers to it? And can this be avoided?
Yeah. For the sake of time, let me help you here. I
Okay.
think it is very dangerous to be in a relationship of some sort uh, with a broken man. Right? You can support him uh, when he's going through that state of brokenness, but don't dig deep or entangle yourself into a man during his journey of brokenness, because he will make decisions that might not be the most rational decisions in that time. How do you deal? How do you deal with? Can brokenness be avoided? Yes and no. It's a condition. It's an emotional pain that is as a result of something happening, right? And you cannot foresee everything that is going to happen, right? Everything might look fine, well, the house feels normal and everything is calm, and then meanwhile your other party that you're running this journey of life with says, you know what, I'm done, I'm out. And you're like, where are we with this matter? Can't do anymore. I'm gone. I'm out. Right? So that can throw you off for a loop. If you just hit you on your blind side, or the person that you're dealing with all of a sudden shuts out on you. He doesn't communicate. He doesn't call. He doesn't talk to you. He just stonewalls you, right? He completely blanks you out, right? For whatever reason, he does that. It can throw the woman off. But the first thing is to find out, why is this person acting this way? What is he dealing with that has put him in this state? It could be his financial positioning. It could be a health issue, right? That he's hiding to himself and he hasn't expressed it to people around him, that has weighed him down, right? Because it's bringing a lot of pain. And communication is very key when a man is going through a state of brokenness. Allow him to talk, try and create an enabling environment where he can express himself. When he's talking, just listen. Even when he's not making sense, just give him that opportunity to express himself. The other question is, so yes, it can be avoided, in the sense that if you know that the decision you're about to make can actually lead you to that, then, and you have the right support team around you, you can, not make certain decisions, right? Or not take certain steps, whether in your personal life or in your corporate world. And that could actually help you. But in some cases, it can't be avoided. It's just the journey of life. It's how you respond to it. So the next question is, how can you help a broken man, right? So how do you really help a broken man? The only way you can help a broken man is to give him hope. I'll say that again. The only way you can help a broken man is to give him hope.
I agree with you.
Because what has led to that brokenness is the lack or the inability to be hopeful. So you give him hope. And when I say hope, I use the acronym HOPE, and I mean the word hope in every sense of it. But out of that hope, you create hospitality, right? Hospitality in the sense of a place that creates a very friendly environment, a very friendly, generous, enabling environment where he will feel welcomed, where he will feel loved, where he will feel cared for, right? Hospitality, hope, opportunities. You create opportunities. Yeah, it's okay to give him money every now and then, or so give him some kind of support every now and then, but don't make it a habit on a regular basis. Instead, create an opportunity where he can, soar back into who he was again. And I think that's very important. Create that opportunity for him, if you can, or ensure that opportunity can actually be made possible, if possible, right? And then after creating hope, right, which is the opportunity, then look at creating a very progressive perspective to life. This one is on him. He has to do this himself. He has to begin to start looking for ways to have a progressive perspective in life. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Whatever you so desire, that is what you're going to attract, right? And so when you speak evil into the world, chances are the universe might give you back. When you speak life and hope into the world, most likely, and chances are very high, that those blessings will come your way. Avoid being resentful, avoid being angry, because all those things will throw away your perspective towards life. The P there is to find a progressive perspective towards life. And the E is empowerment. And I also use the word, not just only empowerment, but I use that your jolly word, entertainment. Right? So, I mean, what would you say entertainment is, since you're the entertainment guy now? So what's entertainment for you?
Well, I would say is the action of, how do I put it? The action of being provided with or providing amusement and enjoyment.
That's it. Just enjoy life.
Provided with or being provided.
That's it. You have to start enjoying life again. You want to desire to live. You want to desire to live life, regardless of whatever life has thrown at you. Catch the lemon, slice it into two, squeeze it, and turn it into lemonade. Sprinkle some sugar on top, and away you go. right? You got to find that amusement. We talked about it yesterday or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about grief with Miss Balogu. It's something that you want to find and drink life itself back into your system. Just take life back in. So find social groups where you find you can be yourself and enjoy yourself. I used to be a guy who had a lot of friends, but as I was going through my own state of brokenness, I withdrew from a lot of folks. I said, okay, but now I'm making a different set of friends that I can socialize with. Just go hang out with the boys and come back out, or go golf, play golf, and then come back out again. Whatever it is that I find amusing, just create something. If it's tennis, if it's reading books, if it's hanging out with your friends or your schoolmates, and whatever it is, just do it to make sure you can find that balance, and then have hope. Don't give up so easily. The problem is that people give up so easily. And I speak to the men and also to the women who are watching. Don't give hope. Brokenness comes from a lack of hope that it would not turn out well at the end. I have been through some very, very intense experiences that would have wiped out most men, if not for the grace of God. And I have been able to bounce back because I had to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And to you, my brother, I wish you the same. It's amazing how we start talking and we run out of time. Obi, man.
And there's so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. You know what? We're going to come back on part 2. And maybe with part 2, we might have some more questions from our audience and bring in a few other guys who might want to help and chime in into this issue of dealing with a broken man. I believe we're trying to give some context here, and we've spoken about what we feel is most important. Please, I ask you at this point in time, join us on this platform. Just take a minute and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please click the bell for notification so you notify when we come on, and then share this with others around you. Share this with your friends. Take 1 or 2 things that we've talked about in the past. Go through our library on the BNS podcast on YouTube and just share with a friend or loved one that will be encouraged one way or the other, and then tell them to ask 4 or 5 of their friends to subscribe. Our numbers have really increased right now. We're over 1,000 subscribers, and we're growing stronger. And we're going stronger to the glory of God. We believe that the kind of reports and feedback I got when I traveled out of the country was amazing. I told you about 2 or 3 people ran up to me and said, "Wow, I watch you every Sunday, sir. Thank you for bringing that word of encouragement." So if you're in a relationship right now with a broken man, he needs your support. He needs your support. And that's all you can offer him now, is as much support as possible, because his decisions that he might make might be very rational or irrational and might not make sense. And so you don't want to find yourself spiraling in that. If you are a broken man who has overcome, stay strong, stay stable, and just turn around and lift up somebody else who's going through that phase.
Very interesting.
And please trust God in all you're doing. Trust God. Obi, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, just my way of wrapping up for this topic. I'll say no one climbs a tree and then tell people to boil water for him because it's going to fall. So don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself most times when you see yourself gambling with that brokenness. Take it easy. Somebody said something to me over what happened to me lately, and he said, "I don't want to say what I want to say to you now until it's over." And I understand where he's coming from. You don't beat a man when he is already beaten. You help a man out of the situation, and then you can.
That's right.
I think this is one of the best ways to approach a broken man. Be honest to the man, encourage the man, and then that is it. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We all will be fine. To the glory of God. All right, my man. Thank you for all our guests and those who have joined us again this Sunday. We want to say thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week on another issue or edition of Broken Not Shattered. In our famous 3 words: love, peace,
and more grace.
Take care and see you at the same time, same place. All right, Obi. Take care, buddy.
Bye.